Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is Garcelle Beauvais stepping up to the plate to call Beauvais out for being Dorit's spokesperson amid all of the drama going on. Beauvais is clapping back, calling Garcelle a hypocrite. I'm going to tell you why I actually do not agree with that assessment. And we'll get into more things going on, Kyle jumping in, and everything else. But before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. It's a fun and easy way to support me in the show, and I appreciate it. So, with that, let's go. So, this is according to Reality Blurb. It says, Beau St. John called out Garcelle Beauvais and Kyle Richards for, quote, coddling Sutton Strack in an awkward scene on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Right after Sutton told Dorit Kemsley to shut up and called her a bitch, Garcelle then accused Beauvais of being Dorit's spokesperson, and Kyle claimed Beauvais scolded them. Right before, in Dorit's backyard, Sutton called her a bitch and told her to shut up after Dorit pointed out that Garcelle asked Sutton about alcohol in her drink. When Dorit clapped back, Sutton threatened to leave and stormed out. Kyle and Garcelle immediately followed her. In a preview of the upcoming episode, Garcelle, Erica Jane, Kyle, and Kathy Hilton surrounded Sutton at the front of Dorit's house, and Sutton explained why she was angry at Dorit. Why is everybody over there? Asked Boz from the party via Bravo TV. Do we need to go over there? I feel like I know I'm going to be left out. See, Boz, I feel like I know I'm going to be left out. I'm just going to stop there and then we'll get more into the article. I feel like Boz is insufferable. There, I said it. We don't even have to do any more of the article. I'm just going to tell you what I think about this because it's insane. So basically, this is how I feel. Number one, Garcelle was 100% correct to call out Beauvais for being Dorit's spokesperson. I've been saying this since episode 1 from Jump. Everyone was like, oh my God, Beauvais and Dorit are amazing. We love their new friendship, blah, 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 blah. And by everyone, I just mean like a lot of people in the Bravo sphere, not my candy canes, not people who have discernment. We obviously caught on to this very early on. Oh, Dorit's amazing. She's smoking cigarettes and saying, see you next Tuesday. She's so cool. Go Dorit. And I'm like, this is a bunch of nonsense. Dorit is a very nasty person. She's very mean. Beauvais, I don't know what is going on with Beauvais, but she is not my cup of tea. I don't know why she's up Dorit's butt. I think she doesn't like Garcelle for whatever reason. She's never liked her. That was clear from Jump. She doesn't like Kyle. She doesn't like Sutton. Even though the producers were trying to angle it as Buzz coming in as Sutton's friend, clearly that wasn't true, but it is what it is. But the only people, and the reason why I think that it's hypocritical for Beauvais and for, I think even Kyle said it, and even Dorit to be like, oh, but Garcelle always sticks up for Sutton, so she's Sutton's spokesperson. No, the reason why it's not the same is because number one, the only people that Beauvais has an issue with are people who have an issue with Dorit. She has an issue with Garcelle. She has an issue with Kyle. But Erica's great. Erica's cool. She doesn't have a problem with Erica. So it just seems like she only has an issue with the people that Dorit has an issue with because she's so far up her butt. And also, context matters. You know what I mean? Garcelle has been in friendship with these women, in friendship with Sutton, in the conversation, in the mix. Like they did the flashback of like when Garcelle stepped in between Dorit and Sutton when Dorit was like, oh, I heard the story that, Sutton made out with the driver and all this. And she was like trying to like call out and embarrass Sutton at the party. The reason why Garcelle stepped in was because she was actually a part of that conversation. It was Garcelle and Erica and Sutton talking about that. And then Erica then went and told Dorit, who was telling it to the whole group on camera. That's a totally different situation. Garcelle was actually a part of that conversation. But like Kyle said, and everybody is basically saying, Beauvais just goes on high alert and defends Dorit no matter what without knowing the other side, without knowing context, without knowing anything, really. She going after Kyle, not knowing anything about the situation between Kyle and Dorit or Kyle's perspective or side of the story. She went and scolded the women at Dorit's party without even knowing why Sutton wanted to leave or why she was upset or why all of the women were on one side of the house instead of the other side. She just came out guns a-blazing. So context matters. Garcelle has been a part of the group, a part of the dynamics, a part of the conversations where she stands up for Sutton. Whereas Bose is coming in not knowing anybody really and is automatically just being on um Dorit's side. So that's why it's apples to oranges. You can't really be like, oh, Garcelle stands up for Sutton. But it's different because she's actually a part of those conversations. She has a history. She's in the mix. It's different. So that's kind of where I stand on that. Okay. Da-da-da-da. So then the article goes on to talk more about what happened, but I think we knew what happened there. And then also, I feel like the tide is turning when it comes to Bose for two reasons. Number one, I think the fact that, and I'm just going to be honest, you guys know me with my candy canes, I keep it 100% real. My authentic perspective is I don't think anybody wanted to say anything about how they truly felt about Bose because they were scared of being called a racist and they were scared of being canceled for going after Bose, and also because there's this, I don't think Bose has any real power in the entertainment industry, but I think that there is some sort of idea maybe that she does. Just because she was a CMO at Netflix doesn't mean she actually has any power in entertainment. I think she made some good money. I think she got some good money from her husband, who unfortunately passed away. So I do think I think her money is good, seeming so. She's worked in corporate, but I don't think she has any real power. But I think there's this sort of idea that she does, but she really doesn't. And I think a lot of people didn't want to say anything about her. And I also think, Erica and Sutton and Kyle didn't want to say how they really felt about her because she's a Black and they didn't want to be labeled as racist. So I think when Garcelle, who is also Black, opened the gate and was like, hey, look, you need to stop being Dorit's spokesperson. You need to stop coming in here, basically cussing us out, not even knowing what happened, being a bulldog for Dorit. You need to stop. I think that gave the other women permission to be more honest about how they really felt about her. Like Sutton's like, yeah. And Kyle was like, ooh, you know what I mean? And then once they move back into the house, that's when Kyle is more honest and it's like, hey, listen, I feel like I have opened up to you and you're still calling me cold. I feel like, you are just taking her side and not giving me a fair chance. You are being hard on me. So kind of gave Kyle permission to be honest and to really go in with Bose. Whereas I feel like they had been tiptoeing around it because they didn't want to be called a racist. That's just how I feel. Also, I agree with Kyle on that. I think that Bose hasn't given her a fair chance. And if you want to talk about being inappropriate, since Bose tried to act like, Sutton's calling Dorit, you're acting like a BATCH is so bad when these women throw on the B word like nobody's business. Like, Dorit didn't just call Camille a see you next Tuesday twice. Like that never happened. Is worse than Dorit insinuating and not so certain terms that Sutton is an alcoholic. I would rather you call me a BATCH all day than on international television call me an alcoholic. And the last person that should be doing that is Dorit, when she's claiming her soon-to-be ex-husband, father of her children, is a raging alcoholic and is a horrible father. So it's like, if you're legitimately going through that, then why do you feel so comfortable calling somebody else that? Like, girl, bye. And it's also inappropriate on Bose's account. Like, you went to Kathy Hilton's house, Kyle's sister, and you talked crap about her sister in her own sister's house. You went to Kathy being like, I haven't been close to Kyle. Kyle was cold and like, who do you think you are, ma'am? How dare you? How like the Lisa Rinna of it all. The Lisa Rinna of it all. Like, you really went to Kathy Hilton's house and thought it was appropriate to talk smack about her sister. That is audacity. That is being inappropriate. That is crazy to me. That's crazy work. So Dorit and Bose, y'all are a mess. Dorit, you are a nasty person. You're mean. Sutton was 100% correct when she said that you're not mad at me, you're angry at your life. I think Dorit's jealous that Sutton has some money and she doesn't. Bose, I don't know what Bose's problem, but this she could be a one and done for me. She's not it. To me, Bose isn't it. I don't know who she thinks she's fooling with this baby storyline. Her boyfriend gives Kenya Moore, Stacy rent a boyfriend storyline. I don't believe for 1 second her and Keely are legitimate. I don't believe for 1 second her saying she wants to have another child is legitimate. It's giving Kenya Moore rent a boyfriend. It's giving Stacey Roosh rent a boyfriend. It's giving fake storyline. It's giving we don't know really anything about you, Bose, other than you have stink face 100% of the time. That's pretty much it. I don't know. She isn't it for me. And apparently people feel the same way. I came across a couple of comments. This person says, Stu Hunter says, totally right about Bose, but I think Garcelle is her own person. She stands up for herself to the thugs like Kyle Renna and that lizard lip person who was fired after one season, Diana. Garcelle has her own personality and her own mind, points of view, and she's not afraid to express them. That said, we have no idea who this Bose person is. She wore out any goodwill she would have had as a newbie that Kyle wasn't going after. And fake boyfriends and pregnancies talk don't do her any good, and neither does defending the villain who nobody likes but tolerates. Not gonna do her any good. I agree. Erica's Angry Earring says, that's what I was going to say. Sutton was attacked by every single one of the witches who took her as an easy mark, and she does crumble easily, which inspires them to be meaner. Bose knows nothing about Dorit, who seized upon her like a starving woman on a Big Mac meal and filled her head with how awful Kyle and PK are. Add Sutton and they're prosecuting her. Dorit had no one else willing to hear her self-pitying drivel. I agree. And then, and Barney said, Bose trying to spin that calling Dorit a BATCH is worse than implying someone has a drinking problem. Bose saying that they were rude for sitting in the entranceway. What's rude is the hostess making people uncomfortable. What's rude is schooling grown women when you didn't know what was going on. Miss Hotshot Corporate must not had fared well when it came to resolving conflict. I agree. I do think that the collective consciousness of Bravo is shifting more to what I've been saying since day one. Bose chucking and driving for Dorit. And it's just not sitting well. I'm still Team Garcelle. I think she's amazing. When it comes to Kyle versus Dorit, I'm Team Kyle. When it comes to Kyle versus Bose, I'm Team Kyle on this one. I think that Kyle has been opening up more and being more, transparent about what's going on in her life. I'm not talking about the Morgan Wade stuff. That was absolutely crazy work. But I think with like the Mauricio and the divorce and feeling lonely and all that stuff, I think she is being more forthcoming with all of that. I love Sutton. I'm Team Sutton when it comes to this. So there you have it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. What do you think about the tide turning more against Bose and Dorit? What do you think about Garcelle finally stepping up and saying what everyone's been thinking about Bose? And what do you think about, Kyle also speaking up about how she feels? So put it all down below. What do you think is going to happen next episode? And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.